Welcome to Make Something with me, David Picciuto, and today we're going to make a real simple base and mount for this birdhouse. I made this birdhouse in a previous video. I have this 1/8 inch piece of sheet metal that I'm going to use for the top of the pole. I got this from a local metal supply dealer. You can get this at your home center. It'll come in smaller sheets and it's going to be a lot more expensive. 1/8 inch is the recommended thickness. You could probably go a little bit thinner and get by if you have to. I am just going to mark out a 6 inch by 6 inch area on here and cut this with the angle grinder. I like to score it first to give me a little groove to run my angle grind in there, and then I'll come back and do a finishing pass. So now I installed a flap disc in my angle grinder, and I'm just going to clean up those nasty edges that we just cut. This little wire wheel installed in my angle grinder, and we're just going to clean up all the rust on there. If you want yours to rust or you don't care, it's not going to be seen, you can let it rust, but you do need to grind away and get some clean metal where we're going to weld the pole on. Just using some vice grips to lock that down. You can use the same flap disc, but I find that it puts too many scratches in there. This is a little bit of less aggressive. That is looking really good, nice and shiny and clean. Before we weld on the posts here, we need to drill the holes because it'll be easier now. And to help us get that started, we're gonna take this punch here and we're gonna on all four corners, and that's going to help it's going to give the drill bit a place to go so we can drill a hole. A little bit of oil on each one, just because it's not necessary. The hole that I'm drilling is slightly bigger than the screw that I'm going to use. This is a pocket hole screw, and I'll explain why we're using a pocket hole screw in a little bit. So the post that we're going to use is this conduit that you would find in your home center. I chose this because it's fairly cheap. I was surprised to learn that you can weld this, but you do have to keep in mind that this is galvanized, so they're going to be fumes. So you want to do this in a well-ventilated area. I have the garage door open. You might want to have a fan blowing out and even wear a respirator underneath your welding mask. So as I was reading about welding conduit, one of the articles suggested to use a torch to heat up the end of the conduit to burn off any kind of the stuff you don't want in the way of your weld. I tried that, and then I just tried sanding it, and I had the same success. So I just got some sandpaper here, just sanding that nice and good. Give it a good sand job. It is almost May, and it is still freezing cold. Unusually freezing cold right now. Anyway, it's time to weld this up. Now, if you remember from our getting started in welding video, Joel in that video said
weld to whatever the thinnest material is.
So the base plate is 1/8 inch steel and the conduit is 16 gauge. So I'm going to set my welder to 16 gauge. Also note, because this is galvanized, it might not be a super clean, good looking weld because of all the impurities in the metal. Don't worry about it. Nobody's going to see this. Nobody's going to come over to your house, look underneath your bird feeder, judge you for your welding job. This could be your very first welding project. This is a reason to get a welder, is to do things like this. You don't even have to worry about cleaning up the welds. It doesn't matter how pretty it is. It doesn't even have to be that strong. Birds weigh a negative amount of weight. The more birds there are on the earth, the less the earth weighs. I don't know how that works. That is just science. Plus, birds are black magic. Have I mentioned that I don't even like birds? I'm gonna go ahead and tack it up in 4 different areas and then weld in between those tacks. As you can see, not too bad. That is overkill for what this is. So now we can go pound this into the ground. So we're going to use pocket hole screws to attach the birdhouse to that plate that we just made. Picciuto, are you mad? Why would you use pocket hole screws? You're not even using pocket holes. The reason is the screws have this, let me set this down and not break that. The screws have this little Come on, here we go, here we go. They have this little head like a machine screw on there that's going to hold it firmly in place, but it has these threads that are made to drill into plywood, which is what we're using. So I don't even have to drill pilot holes into the bottom of the birdhouse. One problem that we do have though is this screw is 1.25 inches and the bottom piece of plywood is 3/4 inch. That means if we just screw this into there, the little baby birds are going to get poked with a sharp screw. We probably don't want that. So I went ahead and cut a 6" by 6" piece that I'm just going to glue on the bottom of this, and then we can screw into that. How you like me now? So the last thing we need to do is just set this up there and screw it in. That's looking a little bit better than the one that's fallen over. That wraps it up. Thank you for watching. Be safe, have fun, stay passionate, and make something. Fun fact, I don't even like birds.